Hello, I'm excited to begin this project with you. It will be to create a chess set and a chess board that is very compact. In this whole project, the pieces in the board will be 3D printed and for sale, possibly a Kickstarter project with a website, etc. The pieces in the board will either be 3D printed and or more traditional manufacturing, subtractive manufacturing techniques from metal or wood. So this first video, we're going to start working on the board. So I will begin on the top plane, and I will begin a sketch. And every part in SolidWorks begins with a sketch. So we'll do a simple rectangle, and it doesn't matter if I put it anywhere, okay? And then check OK, and then I go in and dimension these. And this will be 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, good. Okay. Now I want to extrude this. I can exit the sketch now, no problem. I can revolve around. I'm doing middle mouse button just to revolve around this and see this in 3D. Now I need to select the sketch over here and go to Features, and I'll be looking for an Extruded Boss or base, an extrusion. And this chess board, for now, we can come back and change this at any time, but I will go for 1/2 inch. And you notice it says units. I define what my units are, whether they're millimeters, centimeters, inches in the options, document properties. My overall drafting standard is ANSI, and then my units are inch, pound, and second. In my default display, I can go out to tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and I'll go out to thousands. Okay, so I have a very vanilla basic board here. The first thing I'm thinking about with this product is not to have these sharp edges, so I could right now go into a fillet and just apply a nice soft edge. However, I've noticed I will do fillets last, so what I'll do is just press delete on that fillet, because they can interfere with other geometry that I do want to have on this board. So something that I want to lay out are the actual squares of the board. So, and I'll have to, I actually forget right now how many squares are on a chessboard. That's not good. I think it's 8 by 8, so it's 64. But we'll quickly just go and say how many squares on a chessboard. Oh, and I'm not hooked up to the internet. Okay, of course. Well, we're off to a good start. Let's call it 64. I can always come back and change this later based on what I'm going to do next. I'm going to select that plane because that is the plane that I want to sketch on next. And I'm going to convert the entities. Nice little shortcut. Convert the entities. And now what that says is I had this plane selected, and the entities that define that plane were these 4 lines, and now those 4 lines appear on my new sketch. So what I'm going to do is a linear sketch pattern along the should be along the z-axis. Let's say along that axis. Along direction 1 along X. Oh, that just changed my view. Okay, so regardless, we'll have 8 of these, and the spacing will be equal. So if we did 4 inches across divided by 8, there will be a new line every ½ inch, and it will be equal, and we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now direction 2, let's see if this works. Oh yes, good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for every ½ inch. Okay, now we have 64, and let's see, that's rook, knight, bishop, king, queen, bishop, knight, rook. That's good. Pawns, 4 spaces in between. We're good. We did it right. Okay, great. So I'm just going to click OK to the... Oh, did I exited out of that. Okay, well, let's try again. Okay, and then hit check mark. Okay, there we go. Good, 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 good. Now I don't need these lines going all the way off the board like this, so I'll just select trim, and I'll hold down left mouse button and trim everything off that I don't need. And the 8 is nothing. It's an annotation. It won't show up anywhere else. It's just a note that's defining this array of sketch lines. So don't worry about those 8s. Okay, now how can I use these sketch lines to affect some geometry? Well, I want little channels going through, little channels, or raised edges. But for now we're going to go with channels. So what I need to do is do a extruded cut, but I have to have some more geometry than just single lines. So I will use offset, and I will do bidirectional, and it will be 10 thousandths. Okay, and let's just select some geometry. Okay, you can see that it went along and selected on the edge too, which I'm not going to want that. So let's not select the chain. There we go. Let's continue to select more sketch lines. Okay. And we'll zoom in and see what that's doing. There. Oops. Okay. Well, that was a little annoying. It didn't quite work out because I should have, like I did with the ones across the x-axis, I selected the initial. So what I like to do here is just undo. Okay, and we'll just do that again. Offset. It remembers my previous settings. So let's just go through and select. There we go. And let's just click OK. Now I have some very good lines here needed for the extruded cut. However, I'm going to have to select every single boundary here to make that cut. And so what I'll do first is just trim all this up. So just keeping the cut lines that I want and removing everything else. So this will just take some time. Do that for every single one. And this is where you could definitely fast forward a minute or two. And in fact, what I should have done is created exactly what I wanted and then arrayed those lines, or patterned those lines, instead of patterning single lines and having to come back and do all this cleanup work. But whatever, I'm paying myself by the hour, so this is fine. And I'm just holding down left mouse button, and it's called power trim. I just hold down left mouse button and it cuts out everything I don't want. If I ever decide that I need to redo the thickness on this, and if I have to go back and do this entirely again, I'll certainly pattern exactly what I want instead of having to come back and do all this trim work. Ugh, you know what? How about we just redo it and do it the way I want to? Let's just undo that. Oh, yeah, it's going to undo all my little trim works. So, let's do this. Again, let's offset this one and that one and go, okay. Now, let's trim everything off that we don't need. Okay, and that includes all of this stuff. There we go, this is much faster. There's always a bunch of different ways to do things in SolidWorks, and once you get used to it, you can stop what you're doing on the fly and start doing it another way. And that's totally normal, it's totally part of the process. Don't feel like you're stuck in any one route. You know, sometimes you get modeling and you think, oh, I've been doing it this way and I must keep doing it this way, but there's no reason that you must keep doing it this way. Always find a better way, and then always do it the better way. No problem at all. So, anyone that uses SolidWorks or any modeling software will hopefully tell you the same thing. So, still some trim work, but a lot less. And again, I could have done this even a better way. I could have gone all the way back to the beginning. But now I can say that this is a very good demonstration on the trim tool. And in fact, what I can do here is get out of the trim tool and just select this whole line and hit delete. And it's not letting me. So, let me just go back to the trim tool. And sometimes you're kind of stuck with, hey, it's working. Look, I just tried to stop and delete it and it wouldn't let me. Probably because that was base geometry for something else. So, anyway, we're all set. We're all set now. Now we will array what you see here. And we'll be done. We'll be done with it here very shortly. Okay. Done with the trim tool. Now I'm going to linear sketch pattern these again. I've been using the word array a lot, and I'm sorry about that. Entities to pattern. Well, we want to pattern this and that and that and that. And this and this and that and that. Half inch, it should be only 7 this time. And in the other direction, oh, I see. So actually, we do not want to, we just want to do one of these at a time. Pattern this, pattern that, pattern this, pattern that. 7 times. And click OK, and now we'll pattern the other ones. Clear that. this, and into the Y direction. Do 7 of these. You can see it's going in the opposite direction I want. Just click these reverse directions. There we go. Click my distance. Click OK. Well, I still have trim to do, but it's a lot less. Okay. This is funny. Well, hopefully you fast forwarded a few minutes. If not, you're expert level on the power trim tool. And it's been a few years since I've put together a tutorial video on SolidWorks, or well, period. Good to be back in the saddle. And I'm just using the mouse wheel to zoom in and out on these. Boy, oh boy, I'll be really familiar with this chessboard by the time it's all said and done. I'm 5 minutes into it and already I'm staring at every single square. It'll be all worth it. And you'll see why I went through and trimmed all these. No matter what, I was going to have to come in and zoom in on all these anyway. And I'd rather just trim up geometry that I don't need rather than picking geometry that shouldn't even have been there to begin with. So there is a method to what I'm doing here. I know a lot of you will look at this and say, well, this is totally useless. And again, I could go back and do it another way, and you know, you're right. I also don't need to be looking at this in 3D. I could be looking at this in, so I'm going to click on this. There we go. Now maybe that's a little easier on the eyes. Let's see here, did I miss anything? Let's see. Looks like I got them all. Although that's becoming one of those optical illusions here the more I look at this. Okay. Just scanning around, make sure I got them all. Okay, so we're good on the trim. Now let's go straight into features, extruded cut. All right. So you can see now this is what I'm talking about. I can select any region that has defined boundaries. So what I'm going to do there, that's why I did all this. I got one click. It wants to cut all the way through, so let's reduce how it's cutting. And I don't need a whole lot here. 10 thousandths might even be too much, but we can come in and change that at any point. Okay, very nice. So click OK. Unable to create this extruded feature due to geometric conditions. And I wonder if I have a open boundary somewhere on the ends, or if I should extend all of these ends. See if I can go deeper. Unable to create this extruded feature due to geometric conditions. Well, guess what? I can cancel out of that, do Extruded Boss base at 10 thousandths, and select all of these. Kind of annoying, but and it changes my overall desired of extrusion height, but it works. You gotta be flexible with SolidWorks and other modeling softwares. There's 100 ways to get to the end result. Now granted, like I said before, if I want to hold true to that half-inch height, I need to go back and lower my first extrusion by 10 thousandths. So, anyway. There we go, look at that. And I can. Let's just go back into the base extrusion, right click, go edit feature. And this is cool. What I could do is I could go, okay, 0.490 inches, or I can just go 0.5 minus 0.01, 490. There we go. It'll do some thinking. And there we go. Now, to verify, I'll go to Tools, Measure. I'll measure this line right here, and it's 0.5 inches. And now these channels are actually cut down into, and my overall height is not 0.51 inches. So, alright, very happy about this. We're going to stop this video right here, and on the next one, we will pick up with filleting these sharp edges, and then we're going to add some extruded cuts, circular extruded cuts, and we will create sketches for those, and then pattern those sketches across the whole board, and then we'll come in and fillet the sharp edges. So appreciate it, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.